And now everything is great. It all makes sense why things happen the way they did. So if you're really going through it right now, I encourage you to just trust that the universe is working in your favor, because it very well is. It's always working for you and responding to how you are showing up, how you are thinking, how you are being in the world. Hi there, and welcome back to Sixth Sense CEO. My name is Sam, and I, of course, will be your host today and every day of our incredible show. I have been noticeably absent the last few weeks, and I am so happy to be back on track now. I went through a really rough patch there where I got COVID, and then I traveled to Miami. I got behind on all my work, and I had to catch up. And amongst all that, there have been some great things that have happened in my life, so I'm not complaining at all, but I really wanted to take this experience I had of just everything going to shit, for lack of better words. I want to take this experience and bring it to the show because I have learned from my experience in just existing as a human that when you feel like everything's falling apart, everything is descending into chaos, everything is just like feeling crazy in your life, that's often a signal that you are about to quantum leap to the next level. And the reason for this is because the universe likes to test us with challenges. So whenever you are thinking of a manifestation that you want to bring into the 3D world, into your current reality, right? Whenever you have this manifestation, you want it so badly. But sometimes where we fall short is we don't think about becoming the person who would have that thing. And a lot of people just expect to write affirmations or journal or, even take a line action and expect their manifestations to appear. But the reality is that as much as it is about doing, it's also about actually being the person and showing up as the person in the world who would have that thing you desire. And so the universe sometimes will test us with little challenges. It's basically testing us to see whether we're ready to have that manifestation or not. Are we actually the person who is meant to have that thing? So today we're going to talk all about quantum leaps. I'm going to share some of my personal anecdotes of how I have quantum leaped and what happened before and why everything felt like it was falling apart before that big leap happened. And we're also going to talk about some science, because it's always good to know the background behind these kind of woo-woo sounding concepts we're talking about, right? So if you're into this, if all of this is interesting to you, then make sure you hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening to this episode. If you're here on YouTube where I'm filming this, I just want to say I just set up this new filming corner with a neon sign, and then I realized that I have no idea how to properly implement lighting to where the neon sign looks good and I also look good. So if you're watching on YouTube, just bear with me because I know there are some lighting issues we're going to need to fix. And without further ado, we'll dive in. So first, I want to go over what a quantum leap means in physics. So in the context of physics, this term describes the transition of a quantum system from one energy level to another. Now, I am not a physics girly, so I'm not going to go super in depth about the physics behind this, but basically it has to do with when an electron in an atom jumps to a lower energy level, it emits a photon. And when an electron jumps to a higher energy level, it absorbs the photon. So with that context, we can carry that over to our spiritual conversation, in which a quantum leap means basically the same thing, just in a different context. So whenever I'm talking about quantum leaps, I mean a sudden breakthrough, a sudden change in your life. Really, this is all about vibrating at a higher energy level, a more aligned energy level with your higher self. This is all about becoming an energetic match for your desire, which is going to draw your manifestation to you. And these quantum leaps often come when you're not expecting them. Again, going back to our conversation of everything feels like it's falling apart, but then all of a sudden everything just ends up working out. It just gets better because the universe is testing you. And if you show up as the person who you're becoming, who would handle the situation in a different way than your current self, then things will get better for you because you're actually stepping into your power and becoming that person you're destined to be. So one great question to ask whenever you're faced with the challenge is, how would my higher self respond to this? How would that person actually visualize who you desire to be? What is she wearing? How is she showing up in the world? How is she walking? How is she presenting herself? How is she talking to people? These are all things to get really concrete ideas about. So whenever you can conceptualize that person, you can say, okay, she would respond in this way to this situation, or he, if you're a dude. So I will share a personal story about this is a very recent personal story, but basically I went to a music festival, and I've talked about this, I think, in my last episode, but I went to a music festival in Ohio with my boyfriend and a bunch of his friends. We had a great time, but then right after I came down with COVID and I was out for like 10 days. I was down so bad. It was my very first time having it. I felt horrible. I didn't feel good about myself. I was getting so behind on all my work, and it really forced me to slow down in a way that I honestly didn't want to, but that's what my body was telling me to do at the time. So I slowed down, and whenever I got well, I realized that in slowing down, it had allowed me to find new systems to delegate tasks to team members or other people to help me with the things that I couldn't do physically because I was sick. So it was really a blessing, because now in my business, I have better systems for delegation. So I can delegate tasks to my team members and they can complete the task for me, whereas before I was relying on myself for a lot of the work. So what I'm trying to say is now I have more sustainable systems in my business that I didn't have previously, and getting sick and being unable to work forced me in a good way to actually build out those systems. So the next time I get sick, it won't be as bad because I have everything organized and down pat about what's supposed to happen. Another thing to keep in mind is your journey to becoming your higher self per se is not always linear. It involves a lot of mindset work, a lot of figuring out what the aligned action is to actually become that person, show up as that person. But it all starts as well with being really clear on what your purpose in this world is, what your higher purpose is. Why are you here? What value are you providing to the world and to society and to your community, to your loved ones? Like, having a good grip on what your purpose is will help you align your mindset, your actions, your existence with that. And another thing too is these changes don't have to take forever to implement. So there's this saying that goes, great things take time, or something along those lines. But that's true in some cases. Some things do take time, but other things wouldn't take as much time as you would think. When you open up your mind to allowing these quantum leaps to happen, you can literally collapse time and get to your manifestations faster, essentially. When you step into that person that you're destined to be in a very radical way, and you align your mindset and actions with that person, like who that person is, that's when a quantum leap could happen faster. So that's why I do think it's important to be patient with yourself and achieving your goals and letting your manifestations come in their own time. But I wouldn't necessarily follow conventional timelines or what people say the timeline is, because things could very well happen more quickly for you, and you should be open to those quantum leaps happening. Personally, I know I'm about to quantum leap when it feels like everything is going to shit, but I just know I'm on the edge of something big. It's like when everything's collapsing around you, you have to make big moves in order to survive. That sounds dramatic, but you get what I'm saying. I had a recent breakthrough in my life where I got an opportunity with a client that is literally a life-changing business opportunity, and I am so excited about it. I can't tell you all about it yet, but in a future episode I will. But I mean, this is like the biggest opportunity I've had in a really long time, and I got it like after this whole mess of me getting sick and behind on everything. So to me, this is like, it feels like a quantum leap in my life, because I went from everything falling apart to getting this life-changing opportunity, and now everything is great. It all makes sense why things happen the way they did. So if you're really going through it right now, I encourage you to just trust that the universe is working in your favor, because it very well is. It's always working for you and responding to how you are showing up, how you are thinking, how you are being in the world, you know? So now I want to break down how you should respond to the potential of a quantum leap, okay? Because how you act during this period is very important. When you feel like the universe is testing you, when you get one of those hurdles, one of those challenges that really sets you back, think a lot about how you're going to respond to that. Think about how your higher self would respond to that situation, because these challenges really are shaping you for the next level. It's either going to contribute to that quantum leap, or it's going to be a lesson that you carry forward. So think about how you can learn from this, or how you're going to respond to the situation. When I got sick, for example, I knew that I had to create more sustainable systems in my business, specifically for delegation, just in case something happened to me and I wasn't able to work for a while. And that's what I did. And now I'm way more set up for success in my business. So my second tip is to build really sustainable habits and a strong foundation for rapid growth. You can't quantum leap unless you have that foundation there, because you need to have everything set up for you to succeed, essentially. It's all about structure at the end of the day. Just like you can't build a skyscraper without a strong foundation, you can't set yourself up for success with the quantum leap unless you have your habits, your structures, your systems down pat. So for example, if your quantum leap is, I'm trying to lose weight, so I will use that as an example. If your quantum leap is to lose, let's say 30 pounds, you're setting yourself up for success with certain things, like having healthy snacks available, having a certain hour or two blocked off where you're going to work out, you're going to go to the gym, you're going to go for a walk, or something along those lines. You're tracking your calories, because losing weight is about being in a calorie deficit. These are all things that you need to, one, have knowledge of, two, set up systems for success, and three, commit to those things. And another thing too is the quantum leap isn't just about action. So remember, it's about your mindset as well. Whenever you are truly committed to the quantum leap and making that change in your life, you are doing a lot of mindset work behind the scenes too. You are visualizing making that change, what it's going to be like once you achieve whatever manifestation you're calling into your life. If it's losing 30 pounds, getting your dream body, that is one thing that you can visualize. You can visualize how you'll look, how you'll feel, how you move in the world when you have achieved that goal of losing the weight or gaining the weight or whatever. I'm not turning this into like a weight loss episode. It could be any fitness goal or any personal goal or any career goal. Visualization works because it puts you in the mindset of someone who's already achieved that thing. And once you visualize that, it's powerful because it motivates you to actually take the action and close the gap between who you are now and who you're becoming. So if you think about the person who has the dream body, what actions is that person taking on a day-to-day basis? What are they eating? How are they moving? How are they speaking to themselves? These are all important things because even now, and again, I'm saying I don't want to turn this into a weight loss episode because I'm very big on body positivity. So this really is about body positivity at the end of the day, because if you are speaking to yourself as if you have your dream body, even if right now physically you feel like you're not there yet, then you are building the confidence of that person who has that thing. And that, again, will help you close the gap between where you are now and where you want to be on an energetic level. And finally, always allow the universe to deliver your manifestation at its own pace. Don't force a timeline that feels rushed or not aligned with what the universe is cooking up in there. And this is twofold, right? You don't want to rush the universe because that never works. She'll say, bitch, no, not yet. But you also want to be open to receiving things at a more rapid pace. And I think I mentioned this in one of my previous episodes as well, but that's why I always encourage people to not put too much pressure on the timeline. Traditional manifestation advice will tell you, say that you want $300,000 in 30 days or something like that. And yes, I understand the importance of having the time element in there, but at the end of the day, time is a man-made construct, okay? So don't put too much emphasis on the timeline and really trust the universe to deliver your manifestation when you're ready. Focus on yourself, focus on aligning your actions and your state of being with your manifestation specifically, but the universe will deliver it in perfect divine timing. Trust. So really, I wanted this episode to be a word of encouragement. If you are absolutely going through it right now, just trust that things will get better. They did for me, they always do. So just trust that the universe is always working in your favor and align your actions accordingly. I do have some exciting news. I will be opening my membership again soon, and I'm actually rebranding it. So this is something that I thought about for a while, but we've had some incredible men show interest in the membership as well as incredible women. And I wanted to rebrand it to be inclusive of both, because originally my membership was called Globe Goddess, and I do love that name, but I want to also include the men who are interested in joining and learning and growing with us. So I will be renaming it to Globe Gladiator, and I'm completely restructuring the membership to provide even more value. So stay tuned, because I'm going to have more information on that very soon. So really, this is going to be a holistic success circle where we talk about business, we're going to talk about manifestation, we're going to talk about personal growth, and just learn and grow together. And it's inclusive of everyone, regardless of gender identity. I'm super excited about this because I'm looking to connect with more entrepreneurially minded people. That's really who this membership is for at the end of the day. And I know the personal growth element is super important, because every entrepreneur who is successful has to grow as a person in order to step in the leader they need to be to run their business. That's something that I learned very early on, and I've learned it over and over again throughout my years in business. But if you have your own business, or you want to start a business, or you have a corporate job but you have a side hustle, or anyone who is entrepreneurially minded is welcome to join. So with that said, I want to leave you with this. Again, don't put too much pressure on the timeline, but also don't believe that something has to take 10 years or a lifetime to actually get there. When you open yourself up to the magic of the universe and you believe that change could happen quickly, I think you'll be surprised at how quickly things start working for you. I am living proof that you can experience huge setbacks and still come back stronger. I've done that over and over and over again as a business owner, and I've built up so much resilience along the way as well. And if you've listened to my other episodes, then you'll hear all about my other mistakes, challenges, life lessons, etc. So make sure that you're subscribed if you're not already, and tune into some of the other episodes. And that's pretty much it. As far as life updates go, gosh, I have a lot going on. I went to my cousin's bat mitzvah last weekend, and that was a lot of fun. I am happy to be back in California now, though. I had to go all the way to Miami for it, which was a long flight there and back. So that's what I mean when I say I've been traveling and had a lot going on. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm just happy to be back in California and getting back on track with all of my goals and the things that I'm manifesting. I am going to be going to Costa Rica soon, so I'm really excited about that. I miss traveling so much. I really can't stay in the same place for too long at the same time, so I'm just weird like that. But lots of international travel coming up soon. I'm excited for that. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much. If you love this episode, then make sure you share it to your Instagram story and tag me to let me know what your favorite part of the episode was, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.